You guys are currently live on YouTube, so anything you say can and will be held against you.
Good morning, Noelle.
Good morning, y'all.
Good morning.
How's it going? Fired up out of my mind.
Woo!
Let's go. Let's go. We got 3 minutes. We're live on YouTube. She was like, we're live on YouTube. And I was like, oh my gosh. Okay, I'm ready.
I guess Tia and I didn't get the memo. We ought to be wearing red today, eh?
I didn't get it.
What the heck?
I know, right?
Well, we're on YouTube. I'm gonna keep it clean.
Keep it clean, baby.
That's right. We're YouTubers. We're YouTubers now.
That's right, bud.
I love it. I love it. Morning, Mr. Riddle.
He paying attention or not? He too busy.
Hey,
Riddle. Hey.
My sound wasn't working.
Hey, Noelle. He got some new technology and he don't know how to use it.
Yeah, man.
I'm about to take.
He's still got the flip phone, you know. Flip.
And that was an upgrade from the bag phone. You know what I'm saying?
Terry's picture is about to come down from the TV behind me. So
that's looking good right there. I like that picture. That's a good picture. That's pretty cool, man.
I'm an IT expert.
Well, I think you probably have somebody in your office that can do that for you. Mike's coming.
Mike's coming. It's all good.
Is he wearing red too?
That's right. No, I'm pink. I'm pink. I'm pink. We're both pink.
Jason, you ready to kick this thing off? He's giving me a thumbs up.
You're kicking off and then you kick it over to me for numbers, correct?
I love you. I will kick it off. Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. It is the Friday morning activity call, and no matter where you're at from all over the country, we've got people from Florida and Kentucky and Reno, Nevada. So we've got people all over the country. North Carolina, like I was sitting here and I was like, where's Tia and Terry Edwards from? North Carolina. They're in North Carolina. California. We've got people all over the country on the call today, and we are so excited to be with you this morning. So it's Friday morning, it's 7 o'clock on the West Coast time, and Jason and I are your hosts, and we are ready to rock and roll this morning. So babe, you ready to get into some numbers? This is all of a sudden I was like, I should probably introduce, we're not in the same room. I was going to say the guy in red, but there's a lot of guys in red on the call. Mike says he's in pink, but it looks a lot like red as far as that goes. But I don't really know. But the guy in red, the solo guy in red, that one belongs to me. And if we're playing Hollywood Squares, this guy is my guy. We've been married for the last 21, okay, somewhere about there, 20 plus years. And we've got 2 kids together, and I love the fact that I get to do life with him. I get to do business with him. People always ask me, what's the best part of working with your spouse? I said, working with my spouse. What's the worst part of working with your spouse? It's working with your spouse. It's all good. But I love that I get to hang out, that I get to work, that I get to travel the world with him, and he's my partner in crime. So, babe, you ready for some numbers?
I am, and I dig you too, babe.
I dig you too.
I dig you too. By the way, it is 21 years going on 22 years. Come next month, be 22. But it's not time for that leaderboard. It's time for the activity leaderboards. That's right. And coming up first, the first one up, we're going to do some recognition for 1 week, 7 days in the making. If you're brand new, we're going to do some recognition of what they did this week over the last 7 days. We're talking about the people that jumped on the scale and took accountability every single day. And we're going to start off with the total production issue paid numbers, which is right in front of you now if you're joining us on YouTube. And starting off at the bottom with number 16, you got Marcus and Carlos Richardson. You got but you know what? This is a big thing, by the way. To make the top 16, to be number 16 in our company for 1 week, you've got to issue paid over $10,000 like Marcus did. $10,868 with 7 applications. That just gets you to number 16. That's 10,868 issue paid for 1 week, not a month, not bi-weekly, for 1 week. There are people out there struggling to get 10,000 issue paid in 3 months or 6 months outside of the Alliance. But inside the Alliance is 10,000 in a week, and you're ranked number 16, Marcus. Next up, you got John with 11,004. You got Kyle and Janina Wilson with 12,300. You got Jake and Bell Kraus, my buddies, 12,900 with 18 applications. That's going to put him in the number 2 spot for 18 applications, but 12,900. You got Katrina Gusson, not even ranked 10 yet, but 13,500. You got Chris M, Caleb L. Ooh, on the call today, like we planned at number 8 coming in, Terry and Tia Edwards for $15,301 for 17 applications 1 week. Number 7, Thomas M. Number 6, Billy Crane. And number 5, Chris and Courtney Long, leaders showing you how to get it done. Number 4, Brian and Chrysaline Rich R. And then the top three. Oh, the top three. The top 3 of the Alliance issue paid total production. You've got Kelly Haney with 12 applications for $30,829 of issue paid annual production. You've got the one and only, good for you, Megan Wood. That's right, Megan Wood, number 2, underneath Mike and Noel Leventovich, $32,648 and 38 applications. Number 2 in issue paid, but number 1 on the application board. That's number 2 in for the week, but there can be only number 1. And number 1 in the field and number 1 in your heart this week is Joseph Dukes. Also under Mike and Noel Leventovich, Joseph Dukes with $33,580 of issue paid annual production with 10 applications. So that is the issue paid production for the week. Great job, guys. Let's scroll on. Top annuity sales for the week. Let's go to the top 5. The top 5. You got Tad Peterson. You got Kyle and Janina Wilson. You got number 3. Good for you, Megan Wood. Megan Wood is number 3 with 160,000. Kelly Haney, number 2 with 192,000 of annuity issue pay production. And number 1 again in the field, the number 1 in your heart is Joseph Dukes with 2 applications with $270,162 of issue paid annuity sales production. Great job, buddy. We are proud of you. That's my man out there in Utah. Coming up next now on the leaderboards. I've already done 2 leaderboards. My voice is already going. I better pull it back, start saving my voice. We only have to do the top 3 now. All right, here we go. All right, next up is the submitted leaderboard, So submitted leads to issue paid. First, you got to submit it to be on the leaderboard that we just did with issue pay. So this is the submitted, the total sales submitted. The submitted board for annualized production. Number 5 is Billy Crane with 15,000. Number 4 is Jake and Bell Kraus with 15,000. Number 3 is Justin and Sydney Bailey with $16,352 with 4 applications. Number 2 this weekend submitted is Mercedes and Gustavo underneath Stephen and Holly Davies with $17,039 of annualized production with 15 applications. But number one this week, number one in the field, number one in your heart this week with submitted annual production is Chris and Courtney Long with 12 applications for $18,170. Chris, you the man. Courtney, you the woman. Together, powerhouse couple. Great job this week, guys. All right, coming up next week, top recruiters, top billers for the week. Let's go with the top 5. We got top 5, my man, Mr. Actually, I would say it's actually it's really, I guess it's really a whole bunch of people tied for number 3. So I guess we'll do it that way. Whole bunch of people tied for number 3. That would be Diane Lampy, Evan Passer, Chris and Courtney Long, Mike and Noel Leventovich, Alex Avon, and Kyle and Janine Wilson, all tied for the number 3 spot. Ain't no recounting going on. You're tied for number 3. Here we go. Tied for number 2. We've got Andy Riddle, Fitzgerald, and you got Jason Tony Carey. That's right, my babe. I dig you, babe. You're tied for number 2 this week with Fitz and Riddle. Great job this week. Tied for number 2 with all 4 recruits for the week. And I wish I could say there could be only number 1, but in this case, there are 3 number 1s. And that would be Louis Abadi, ABTFB, and Brandon and Ashley Bill. Great job. All tied for the number 1 spot with 6. Count them, 6 recruits for the week. Moving on. Next leaderboard. As my voice permits. Oh, I might have been in. Here we go. That's the leaderboard. That's all my voice can handle anyways. I'm coming back to you, babe. And again, I just want to say, I dig your red shirt.
I dig your red shirt. I dig your red shirt. I love it. Let's kick things off. This is the Friday morning activity call, and it's always an honor, always a pleasure to be with the team today. And I've got some winners on this call. Not that we always have winners on this call, but we got some special winners on this call today. And I am crazy excited about what's taking place, what's happening. So the title of today's call is I Hope You Get Rich Twice Over. So this is I Hope You Get Rich Too. I hope you get rich twice over. Leadership lessons. And I've brought some of my great buddies on the call today. And here's what it is. I love this team. And if you're brand new with us, just getting started, here's what I want to tell you is you got to stick around long enough to get buddies. Like we've got buddies that are here, that are partners in crime. We don't do crime because we're not going to do any time. I'm just telling you, we ain't going to do any time. That's high on our priority list. So we're not doing crime because we ain't going to do any time. I don't know what made me think of that, but it's just popped up. I was thinking like Bonnie and Clyde and like stealing things and shooting up banks. And then I was like, no, that's not the deal. But we do got partners in crime where we get a chance to do life together. And I have so many stories of each and every one of these couples and each and every one of these people. And I'm just sitting here and I'm like, here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, I hope you get rich, Andy Riddle. I know you were upset. I did not like from the TWC. I hope you get rich, Andy Riddle. T and Terry Edwards. I hope you get rich. Like, I hope you get rich. And I'm sitting here, Mike and Noel, Marvin Osuna, Rachel Osuna. I hope you guys all get rich. And here's the thing is every time we say that, I've been talking with some of them, they're like, that's right. We're getting rich. We're getting richer together. And they're like, I hope you get rich, Tawny Care. And I'm like, I hope you get richer. I hope we get riches together. Because that's what it's really about. And today we're going to talk a little bit from the Green Book, or also known as the Millionaire Maker Manual. And here's what I was thinking. It's coming out of, it's page 50 for me. And it's crazy. It's called the Duplication Explanation Chapter. And I have this little piece at the very back. There we go. I can go right here. There we go. I'm not really good at this thing, but I'm getting better. And it's this little section right here that I love so much. And it like stuck in me like nobody's business. And I flip to it, like I've got it, you know, earmarked. I've got little tabs on it. I've got little notes that I write through it. And it says, build your duplicating business the right way, following the system. Set some audacious goals, build strong relationships throughout your team by developing a level of trust and commitment. Lead from the front, be the example to your team, learn from successful leaders, and then be that leader. Like when I think about how to grow your business, how to get massive, how to get rich, it's like, right, to me, it's like this little sentence. It's like a big sentence, but this little sentence, and it's got 10 things packed in it. Just like so much. So we're going to unpack some things today. And I hope, my prayer is that it will help you get rich here at the Alliance, rich in relationships, rich with money, rich in success for your family. I hope it helps you get rich in life. And some of these things, not some of these things, all of these things will help you get there. And so I've got some crazy stuff and I've got some incredible people. So if you're looking at the screen, I've got people like Marvin and Rachel Osuna out of Reno, Nevada, our partners in crime, our buddies up there on the West Coast, ready to knock things out. And as we're start moving forward, actually, babe, you got some stuff you want to throw on this? You got, can we give them a tip? Can we just like pepper it, season it? That's what it's called, season. Like you just want to season it just a little bit.
Are you ready for me to get this thing started, right?
Let's get the thing started.
Let's get it started.
It's
Let's
7:15.
get it started. You came to find out how to get rich, so we're gonna get ready to give you what you came for. Ready? Number one, for me at least, number one lesson that we learned was, you ready for it? You might want to write this down. It's 2 words. 2 words. You might want to write it down. It's sexy too. It's sexy. It's called delayed gratification. Drop the mic. Oh, I know what you're thinking. You're like, oh, I wasn't expecting that one. That one didn't sound sexy at all. In fact, that sounds like some sort of cliche I've heard a million times over. I know. But this was a big lesson that Tani and I, that we had to learn years ago. Because here's a principle, and you're going to hate this one. I swear to you, you're not going to like this principle. It's called this: the lesson will be repeated until the lesson is learned. And I really, really hate that principle, by the way. So in the beginning, we're doing very, very well in personal production. I mean, within 3 months, I had done over 30, 40,000 in my first 3 months. In our first 8, 9 months with the Alliance, we cash flow from like April, March of 2006 to the end of the year. We cash flow like 96, 98,000. We then went agency manager within the first 12 months by April of 2007. In 2007, we went over $200,000 in income. You're like, you guys are getting rich. Strangely enough, we were going more broke by the end of 2007. Even though we made over 200,000, we were going more broke because we had the timeshares, we had the kids and the tutor time, private school. I mean, they were like 1 in 3, and we were spending just as much in their preschool as we're about. Actually, we spent more during the preschool than I'm about to spend to my oldest going to her first year to a Cal State University. Like, I'm not kidding. We were spending a lot on that tutor time thing. What was it, like $500 a week we were spending? I'm telling you, it's more than what I'm going to spend in sending Jenna, my 17, soon to be 18-year-old, to a Cal State University. And then I remember this. I remember when we bought the BMW, the first time we bought the BMW 5 Series, brand new, white, pristine, with $1,000 lease. I tell you, we looked good. And we looked at each other and we like lied to each other. We said, we're going to recruit so many people with this car. The problem is, We recruited nobody because having cars doesn't translate to actually doing recruiting activity. See what? Oh, I know Terry's like, just drop the mic with that. That's right. Having the big cars, having the fancy clothes, walking around in it, smelling like it, doesn't translate to actually doing recruiting activities. There's a big difference between doing recruiting activities and looking and thinking that you're just going to magically recruit somebody because you look like money. They're not one and the same. They don't translate. They're not related at all. One can help the other, but the first thing you got to get right is the activity. The first thing you got to get right is stop eating your seed money, because that's what Tony and I were doing in the first couple years of our business. We were not living in delayed gratification. We were eating. I tell you what, this is one of my loves back then. I tell you what, I got this CD changer. I had a like you come up with these systems, and if you know me, you know I love binders. And I would buy so many DVDs. I would have binders of DVDs because no one wants to see a big, closet full of DVDs. That's something that you see walking to somebody's house. So I would put all my DVDs in binders, but I had so many binders, I couldn't find my DVDs. So I had to buy a 500 DVD changer. So I got this jukebox called a DVD changer, and it hosts 500 DVDs in this DVD jukebox of DVDs. That's where my money was going. One day I counted. I was like, well, if I average $20 a DVD, I got 500. And then I got so many that they didn't fit in the 500. They had to go off to the side. So I got DVD boxes just kind of stashed around. And finally I said, dude, what am I doing? And we looked at each other one day and said, what are we doing? We're never going to get free doing this. We're never going to get free. We're never going to get rich doing this. And we made a switch. And it took us some time to dig us out of the hole that we were in. But we made a switch. We went from buying doodads into buying premium, buying volume. We went into, instead of spending $1,000 on a BMW car, we went down to one car. We're making $250,000 a year, and we're in one car, and we're pouring everything we have into recruiting, into ads, building and buying volume, and finding other great people that want to get rich along with us. So that's lesson number one, leadership lesson, is truly learning how to live in delayed gratification and take that money, and instead of buying doodads, learn to buy and build your business up. Again, babe, I just want to say, I dig that red shirt.
I love it. I dig you, baby. I dig you, baby. It's crazy. Like, I just think about that kind of stuff. And these are just like, here's what was happening is we had these big goals that we wanted. We had set audacious goals in our life, but the problem is we weren't putting our money where we wanted our dreams to manifest. Like, we were putting our money into things, but we weren't putting our money back into the goals that we wanted to accomplish. Like, we felt like we had arrived. We felt like, oh my God, we had never made this kind of money before in our life. And we had bigger goals and bigger dreams. We just didn't realize that we were putting money in all the wrong places that weren't going to help us achieve our dreams. So we looked at each other and said, we got to make a switch. If we want to accomplish these goals, if we want to go out and go, not just agency manager, but have a massive residual business, if we want to go partner, we were going to have to sit there and readjust what we considered our financial priorities and change the way we did things. And it was a huge lesson for us. And I just remember just like hitting myself over the head going, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. So every time now I think about making a purchase, I literally, no matter how big or how small, or especially on a big ones, I'm sitting here and I'm looking at it and go, can I put that money to something else that would help me grow my business even faster? Can I put something into the machine that will not only pump out like some one-time dreams, but it will fund all my dreams? Like I remember Andy Albright saying, the dream isn't the stuff. The dream is the machine that will fund all your dreams. I'm going to say that again. The dream is the machine that will fund every single one of your dreams. And we were so concerned with just getting one dream here, one dream there. We weren't concerned with filling with building that machine. And that's like just a huge leadership lesson. Okay, so I got next on the lineup. Okay, I got the Prophet and Mrs. Prophet. We got to come up with a better name than Mrs. Prophet. But I got the Prophet. I got Marvin and Rachel Osuna here with me today. We call Marvin Mo. It's the Mo because he creates FOMO. The Mo creates FOMO. Marvin and Rachel Osuna out of Reno, Nevada. They are what you will find is some of the kindest people on the planet, willing to help you, willing to see success. They have a smoking organization that is absolutely exploding right now. I feel like every time I turn around, they're hiring more people. They got new people writing premium. They became agency managers. They're on their way. Here's what I know. They're on their way to $500,000 income. Not only did they become agency managers this year, they also broke out an agency manager this year, and they got big goals for things to happen. So Marvin and Rachel Osuna, I know you guys got some leadership lessons. I know you got a few things that you want to help some people with to help them get rich today. So give them, I was going to say, give them the smack down, give them the, the elbow, give them the, don't hit them upside the head with a chair. But sometimes people need to be hit upside the head with a chair. Just like we don't want to knock them out. We just want to fake them a little bit, just a little bit. We don't want to turn this just a little bit. So Marvin and Rachel, give them, help some people on the call today with some leadership lessons that you have learned over the last couple of years that will absolutely help them explode. So take it away, buddy.
Hello, Alliance family. Hi, Carries. Hi, Terry and Tia. Hi, everybody. Noel and Mike. Who else do I see there? And Andy. Hello. Hi, everybody. We are just so thankful and grateful. We're just, our hearts, I guess, if we didn't have this body, our hearts would be coming out, and we're just so thankful and grateful and happy for the opportunity of being with the Alliance and being with each other, working together as a couple. Partners in crime. That's what Carrie says, or Tawny says. But we are just so happy that we get to do this. We were talking with our team earlier in the week, and I say, you know what? It's so awesome that we get up and breathe. It is so awesome that we get up and that we get to help families, help people, and help people make money, and get rich. And so we are Marvin and Rachel Osuna, and we are in Reno, Nevada. It is a rainy morning today, but we're just so thankful and grateful with God and the Alliance, Andy Albright, the Carries, our buddies, and take it away, babe. Get rich.
Awesome. Let's go. Let's go. I hope you get rich. Man, this is so exciting. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. So we came to the Alliance about 9 years ago, and I feel like it's only been a year because this has been an amazing ride, and we've had so much fun, especially like in the last 9 months. This has just been incredible. And so what I like to talk to you today about are some of the things that have helped us, you know, especially in the middle of a worldwide pandemic, and just not knowing from day to day or from week to week what was going to happen. But just having the foundation that our leaders helped us create prior to all this, and our leaders, you know, like Jason and Tawny and Andy Albright, reassuring us and telling us, hey guys, everything's going to be okay. We're just going to stay the course. We're just going to put our heads down, and we're going to continue to grow, because how cool would it be to have a breakthrough during these times? And so, you know, when I think about it, and this might help somebody on the call, you know, we were going through all of that. Plus, some of you guys have heard before that our pastor in our church, he had a severe stroke. So they asked me to take over and start, you know, taking care of the church. And so, you know, during that time, our church shut down. We had, you know, virtual services, but we would still show up to the building 3 days a week, you know, and do a virtual service. But what was really cool about the alliance and the system that we have in place is that, you know, our leaders went to fight, and they went and talked to the companies, and they said, can we start doing telesales? Can we start helping people over the phone or on Zoom and stuff like that? And that's all I needed to hear, man, because from that point on, I think the first 4 months of the pandemic, you know, dealing with stuff at church and dealing with stuff at home, and, you know, some of our family members tested positive, and just dealing with all that stuff, we knew that we could control what happened in our business. We couldn't control what was happening, you know, outside, but we could control our activity. And so for those 4 months, you know, listening to Jason and Tawny encouraging us all the time and saying, guys, you can have a breakthrough. What we did is every morning, you know, we would get ready. We wouldn't have to go anywhere because the kids weren't going to school or anything like that. You know, we just come down to the office with our cup of coffee, with our Nespresso, because Jason turned me on to Nespresso. So I was like, let's go. So put the coffee cup down, and just picked up the phone and started calling and calling and calling. And sometimes we start at 7:30 in the morning, and we look at each other at like 8:30 at night, and we're like, do you want to wrap it up, or like, what do we do? Well, let's just call Marvin Notsoy and let's see what's going on. And we'd have another call for about an hour. And so in the middle of all that, I truly believe, like we were mentioning on Wednesday, is that we got stronger, and we became more committed to our leaders, to our team, and, you know, our production went through the roof because we started calling annual reviews. We're talking to people that had canceled policies, and just talking to everybody. And so we grew tremendously, and that's what we want to continue to do, because growth is the name of the game. We want to continue growing. And so, you know, I remember having this in front of me every day. That was one of the only things that I would look at every day. It was right in front of me as I was making my calls, and I'm like, what do you want? How do you get it? What do you want? And so I remember thinking about it, and I was like, well, what do I want? I want to become agency manager. I want Rachel and I to, you know, make it to that stage. I want Rachel and I to get our agency manager rings. And so it was like laser focus. You know, that's really what we wanted. That's what we were working for. And so what really helped us, one of the first things that I would say is that Rachel really started showing how much she cared for each one of our team members. And she would have these conversations with them and just learning from Tawny Carey, because Tawny Carey taught us how to have fierce conversations, which most of the time, it's just like, oh man, it's so exciting. I know Jason loves them. He gets excited about the red shirts and everything. But that's what we were talking about. We were talking to our team and saying, how can we help you? And Rachel just decided to talk to every single team member and find out what was important to them, and making sure that they were doing okay, that their families were doing okay, sending flowers, doing this and that, and getting together with the team. We try to get together with our team as much as possible. And so, my focus was personal production, but I can tell you right now, whether you're married or single or whatever, it doesn't matter. Make sure that you stay focused on your personal production, and then also take some time to talk to each one of your team members. And don't just ask about production, but ask about, what's in their heart. What are they going through? How do they feel? And just help them, because they're your family. You know what I mean? We've come to learn that all of our team members, they're part of our family, and we just love them to death, and our leaders, Jason and Tawny, to us, they're like brother and sister, not like, oh, my, upline or anything like that. They are brothers and sisters. And so I love that about what Rachel started doing for our team. And another thing that helped us, especially in these times, was the only time I was leaving the house was when we got new agents. One of the first things I would tell them is, hey man, the most important thing for you right now is called the power of 10. As soon as we got somebody contracted, as soon as we got somebody on board, I would say the power of 10. And they're like, well, what's the power of 10? And I'm like, well, first thing we need to focus on is you booking 10 appointments in your first week. But I don't know what I'm doing. I haven't learned the products. It's okay. I'll help you. I'll go do that with you. And sometimes we'd hire agents or work with people that were 4 hours away or 5 hours away. That was the only time I would get in my car and then just drive out there and help them for a couple days so that they could hit the power of 10. So like, that was big. It was a message that we were relating to everybody. And it was, okay, it's your first month. You have to hit, like, the expectation that we have for you is for you to hit the power of 10 in your first month. You can't go more than 30 days without hitting the power of 10. And so again, it was just relating that message, getting them to book their 10 appointments, making a list of everybody they knew. This is warm market that we were working with in the beginning, and making sure that they booked 10 appointments off of their warm market. And then I would go out and run the appointments with them and help them, or be on the phone, or do whatever we could to help them get to the power of 10. After they hit the power of 10, even though they didn't know about, the products or the systems or the underwriting and everything else, they felt more confident. There was something in them that they're like, okay, let's go, let's do, write 10 more. And so it was just building momentum. I feel that helped us build momentum during the months of March, April, and May, was building momentum by just hitting the power of 10 as a requirement for everybody in their first 30 days. It was not like, well, hopefully you can know. It was like, you got to hit your power of 10 in your first 30 days. Second thing is we were celebrating small victories. So you see us posting on the Front Row Fanatics band pictures of people hitting this level or hitting that level or hitting the power of 10. Not only would they get recognized by the company, but we would also recognize them and get together with them, bring them a big payday, chocolate bar, and we were just getting paydays with everybody. It was so cool. What's kind of crazy, Tawny, is that as of last week, our team members, especially Ricardo, said, why payday? You guys are the M&Ms. Marvin and Marvin, and then Rachel's like the M in the middle, keeps everything together. Why M&Ms? And so now we're giving a giant size M&M back to people, and that's the reward for production. So celebrating small victories. And then the last one I want to share with you, because I know we have some amazing people on the call, and I can't wait to hear what they have to say, was communicating with a positive mental attitude. So some of the things that you guys are saying, like, delayed gratification and building relationships, all these things, we learned them from you guys before we started making money. Like, I remember Tawny just breaking it down for us and telling us, hey, this is how you start putting money in your business. This is how you start reinvesting instead of just, spending all that money, eating all that money. You got to reinvest it. So before we ever made six figures, you guys were already teaching us those lessons. And why do I say communicate with a positive mental attitude? It's because the way I can communicate with a positive mental attitude to my leaders, that I am not, too smart or too good, or, that I know too much already and I don't need to learn anything from them. The way I communicate with a positive mental attitude is just by sitting down and saying, okay, continue to teach me, continue to help me. I'm ready to learn. I'm ready to start and absorb all the information you have for me. And we want to continue to do that, and learn from our leaders. And we never want to get to that point where we don't need to be on the call, or we don't need to learn, from our leaders. So that's how we communicate with them. And speaking to that, you spoke into our lives, Tawny, about 4 years ago, and said, you know what, I hear you. I know you're telling me that maybe you don't deserve this, that maybe this is not for you, that maybe it's the, because I used to think maybe it was the color of my skin, maybe it was the color of my hair, the color of my eyes, maybe it was because I wasn't born in this country, that I didn't deserve all these things. And you spoke life into us and allowed us to believe that this was for us, that we deserved it, and now we're seeing it. And now we became agency managers, baby. Woo! And then right a month after, and Gina Hawks was telling us this, you guys broke out an agency manager a month after. And she's like, I don't think anybody has ever done that in the Alliance. And we're like, heck yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Let's go, baby. And so it's just really exciting to know that as we started to believe and listen to you guys and grow, all these things came, as a result of that. And then Jason, he challenged our team. I remember back in June, he challenged our team and he said, what's wrong with you guys? You guys should be helping Marvin and Rachel get to agency manager. I can't believe it. Like, I don't know what you guys are thinking. Come on, let's go. Help your leaders. Get your leaders in that room. Get your leaders in that meeting. Get your leaders those rings. And people were like, whoa, okay. Yeah, so what do we do? What do we do? And I know that
it.
Marvin Natsoy, our friend, he reached out to Jason and said, how do I help him? Jason said, do this. And then he helped us out. And then we said, okay, now we're going to help you next month so you can become agency manager. And man, things are just exploding. And we're just so grateful. Thank you so much, guys.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Marvin and Rachel Osuna. Okay. Killing it. Next on our list, we got Tia and Terry Edwards. Been here with the Alliance for 5 years, on their way to making $500,000, on to $1 million. They pushing for partner. They're seeing incredible stuff. Their team is growing leaps and bounds. And I know you've got some incredible leadership lessons to share. So give them one or two things to kind of help them go through. And because we've got so much to go, like we could go like another hour for all that, but we got so much that we want to do. So, okay, Tia and Terry, go ahead. Talk to them a little, share them a couple of things.
Hey,
Good morning.
Good morning. What's up, Alliance family? We are so excited to be a part of this team. We love Andy and Jane Albright. I love Andy Riddle. I love Jason. I just love
Everybody.
You get love. You get love. Everybody's getting love. So this is the thing, y'all. Leadership lessons. What have we learned? I feel like we're just now getting started because we really feel like we're just finding ourselves in this organization and also in our life. So the first leadership lesson that I learned is you teach what you know, but you duplicate who you are. And who we are much more powerful than what we may see ourselves as right now. Because when we was originally manufactured, we had no fear. We was resilient until life just started beating us up and telling us what we wasn't. And how did we determine who we were in this place is a simple principle called duplicate, associate, and edify. We call it walking in the light of day. But the association part is what allowed me to get around. Like I wanted to do everything I could to earn to be in the presence of greatness. I didn't want to hang out with the people at the back of the convention stadium. I didn't want to hang out with the people that was in the back of the meeting with their arms folded. I didn't want to be in the group in the bathroom or out smoking cigarettes when you got multimillionaires on stage telling their story and how they did what they wanted to do. I wanted to be around the Andy Riddles. I wanted to be around Andy Albright. I wanted to be around the people who were doing it. But this is what I got to tell you is this right here. In order to be a good associator, you have to be very humble. Think of it. I wish I had $100 bill on me right now, but if you fold $100 bill multiple times and make it tiny, does it devalue the currency? No. That's what association and humility would do. You allow yourself, there you go. I got to start carrying more cash. It ain't like I ain't got it. But listen, the humility, being humble, making yourself small to get big is huge. And you get around people that think bigger than you, that dream bigger than you, and then it just so happened to rub off on you. And then you start acting like somebody that you're not because you go back to acting like who you were from the very beginning, which was powerful. So that's the first leadership lesson. Number 2 is this right here. Passive income is better than money in the bank. So we talk about building this business. True, personal production is important. I take my personal production and it's very serious because, again, I can't expect my team to do it if I don't do it, right? Now, but that passive income is what I want. Andy used to say it this way. Andy Albright, this is what I'm talking about right now. He used to say, Bo, you want your money to be like a river and it's just flowing. And whenever you need something, you just dip your bucket up in there, you get what you need out. And before that bucket gets out the water, that space is filled with more currency. That's what you want to do by building the team. And think about this right here, guys. How many people will agree that you cannot earn 3% without risking your money in the market right now? Like you can't go to the bank and put your money in a savings account and they pay you 3%. So this is very conservative, okay? Let's say what $1,000 in passive income in overrides to get free. So you want your passive income to exceed your passive bills for your business and your personal life, and now you're financially free. The way you create that flow here is through recruiting and building. So if you had just $1,000 in passive income, that is equivalent to having $400,000 in the bank earning 3% interest. Let me back that up. If you take out your calculator and you put in 400,000 times 0.03 divided by 12, that's $1,000 a month. Now, is it easier? I don't like using that word easier, but I can't find a better word. Is it easier to build $1,000 in overrides? That's just $10,000 in volume with a small spread. Or is it harder to save 400 grand? Come on, somebody. What about $10,000 in overrides? That's equivalent to $4 million in the bank. And the thing about money in the bank, once it's spent, you can't get it back. But if you build an agency, baby, that production, see, most people think they start out at zero every month. If you're a personal producer, you do. But if you built you a business, you're not starting at zero every month. And I ain't saying this to brag because somebody need to know this right here. Last month, my little pyramid, we did over $20,000 in passive override income last month. That ain't including my personal production. That's equivalent to having $8 million in the bank, earning 3% that I can't get. If this don't inspire you to recruit and build your business, we might need to check your post. That's what I learned. And the thing, Tia's lesson that she learned, it ties right into building the business, because we don't hire people, we build people, and then people build the business. So
yes, so we do that by here at our office. I'm gonna be real quick. So here at our office, we have like a training center. So since COVID has hit, it's like it has slowed us down. But as far as being creative, we had to be creative on how to still get around our team. So what we did is we like start inviting people just to come into our office, and they're seeing how full of energy we are. We see they see what our staff is here doing, to the point where they're ready to go out and have their own office and duplicate what we have going on here. So we do things like having events like this coming up Saturday. We're having, like, we call it the Harvest Tailgate, where all of our staff agents are coming in. We're going to be outside, set up for the tailgates. We're bringing our own food, just social distancing, just to get around each other, just to fellowship, get to know one another and our families. So those are some of the things that we do here at our agency, and just get to have a good time while we're building our business.
Having fun, making money, making a difference, baby. Woo!
I love it. Like, so many things. Like, if you're here on the call and you're like, there's just so many things that each one of these incredible people are talking about. Like, I mean, they're leading from the front. They're figuring it out. They're adapting. They're getting around other leaders, learning from them, and then becoming those people. It's talking about that right out of the straight out of the Millionaire Maker, of just sitting there and getting around the other leaders, learning from them, and then leading from the front. It's so huge what's happening right now. So let's move on to our next guest. Like, I love this. We're rolling. We're gathering steam. That's what I know. We're gathering steam. So next on our call is we've got Mr. Andy Riddle out of Florida. Andy is one of my incredible buddies. He is not only someone that challenges me, he talks junk to me, he encourages me to be the very best that I can be. But I will say, out of all of those things, he inspires me to keep climbing, to become the very best. And I love that. And Riddle's been around, I think, a little bit longer, maybe about 15 years, maybe 16, a little bit longer than Jason and I are right about that. And I love that because we've got to travel the world, Jason and I, with him. And I will say, thank you for being on the call. Mr. Riddle, take away, give him some things that have helped, that have helped you absolutely explode your business.
Well, thank you so much. I don't think I've ever talked trash to you though, Tony, but who knows? So, but yeah, just kind of going off what you talked about, Tony, in the Green Book, and then Terry hit on just a second ago. I just believe we all have a divine favor on this planet. All of us here, we have favor to be here. And in other words of that, we were born to win. I just think as people, we're born to win. And we've all been around people that are the do nothing. They just like to talk, or they just like to whine and complain. I call them the agents of average. And we get stuck around those people. And I think even from birth, like growing up, all I ever think about is when I played sports was the competitiveness and learning how to win and always doing that. And I think after college, when I went to get a normal job, I surrounded myself with the agents of average. And I quickly fell into that trap. I mean, I was winning at my career in corporate America, but even as I was winning, just being stuck around people that are the agents of average all the time, that competitiveness and chances of win just kind of died. Even though I was kind of winning at my career, it still was that aspects of just averageness. You know, what keeping up with the Joneses, just being okay, content where you're at. And I think it's a lot because you have a limited ceiling. You can only see yourself going so high. You don't have the unlimited potential. And I've been now with the Alliance for 13 years, and getting around someone like an Andy Albright that's taught me that you can still have that competitive, you can still have that greatness inside of you and challenge yourself to become great and get you around great people to go out there and win. And it's really that competition that you continue to have with yourself to continue to push yourself harder and harder. It's one of those things I love that what Andy and Jane have put together with the Alliance. It gives me the ability to go out there and challenge myself every single day to be better and challenge myself to push to see how far I can actually go, and really control who I'm getting myself around and other winners, like just on this call and being part of these calls and getting around winners and fighting to get around great people that are succeeding in life like I want to. And it rubs off on you when you do that. What I find is in everything, in sports, in business, and every aspects where people are trying to achieve to be great, they surround themselves with other people trying to be great. And they want to be around those people. And what you find is those people are the most encouraging to put you there. And they're the ones the most accepting of what you do. When you get around those agents of average, heck, I didn't leave the office till 10:30 on Monday and Tuesday. I left early at 7:30 on Wednesday. Took a couple, but I still worked when I got home, which was a crazy thing. But if I was around agents of average, they would be telling me how that's so wrong in my life and so wrong in what I'm doing. And then when I do something cool, like travel or go someplace first class travel and stuff, they're like, huh, he's just lucky or he wants to do that. But it's surrounding yourself with people that understand that's what you can do. And that's how, and the greatness that you do it. So surrounding yourself with those people and staying away from the average. I mean, they're in your life. They're all over the place. They're where they're at, but don't allow them to influence you. And if you get trapped around those people all the time, at some point, the influence will be there. So you have to be able to surround yourself with the right people who talk and inspire you and challenge you to and do things. It's like one of these things right here. It's on my desk. It's the Rob report that Andy's challenged me years ago to get this Rob report. And I just flipped through it. And 90% of this stuff, I don't even know what it is, but it inspires the heck out of me to see it. You know what I mean? I want to touch it. I want to have one. And just having those things and having the inspiration and people to do that. And then when, you know, if an agent of average walked into my office, they'll be like, oh, no one can have that. No one can do this, you know, and they challenge and they push away the opportunity to be great. They push away the things that they can have and achieve, and really just look at it as a way. It's like, well, you're not happy with a lot of money. Money doesn't make you happy. And I agree 100% it doesn't make you happy. But what I find is it's like a steroid. If you're a happy person, you're going to be a happy rich person. If you're a miserable person, you're going to be a miserable rich person. It's the same thing. And it's finding the happiness inside of you to challenge yourself to be as great as you can be and get what you want to do. But it's giving you the options to do that. And it's so many people find that like being rich and having money and doing the things that we talked about, like where Terry's talking about, I think he said it was $8 million in the bank equivalent to his overrides in his business. And people are like, well, money's not everything, Terry. This isn't that. Those are the agents of average trying to pull him back down to their misery or their life. There's nothing wrong with having money. It still make Terry and T are still great people and they have more money, you know, and they can do more with it and more greatness with it. And I just love surrounding myself with people like that. People that want to go out there and push themselves to find their max, find the most they can do, and challenge themselves all the time. And sitting around people that get to a certain level and just want to sit at that level, they're fine people. There's nothing wrong with them. They're just agents of average. And that's okay if that's what they want. That's not what I want. And that's not, I don't think, what the Alliance wants. The Alliance wants people that want to go out there and just achieve and become great and see how far we can push this company and see how great we can be. And that's what I love about it, Tony. It's just, other than the part you said I talked trash to you, I don't remember ever doing that. But other than that, I just love being around this group, you know, I don't ever remember talking trash to anybody, but I mean, especially you, Tony. I would never do that. But
I love you, Riddle. I hope you get rich. I hope you get rich, Andy Riddle.
Oh, thank you so much.
I love it. I love this competition. I love the friendships that we build. I love that, Riddle, I love the fact that whenever I talk to Albright, he's always like, I got off the phone with Riddle. I've been talking with Riddle. Riddle's been asking me questions. Like, he's always talking to me about what you're doing, what Mike and Noel are doing. And I love that about our leaders, is that no matter how big that they get, they're humble enough to sit there and say, I don't have all the answers. I don't know all the answers, and I still need a coach in my life. And I think that's huge of you just exude that, Riddle, of you still need a coach in your life to help you go through. So I love it. So, okay, let's bring it up. We got Mike and Noel Leventovich, the powerhouse out of Kentucky. You know what, Mike and Noel, I love you guys so much. And I get to say that. And some people are like, how come you just love everybody? Because we've been around for a while. We've been through some stuff together. We've been at trips. We've been at the highs. We've been at the lows. We've had things happen in our lives. And I love their complete steadfastness. I think that would be a good word. It's the consistency. It's not a sexy word, but I will say it's sexy to know that you can count on people like Mike and Noel. It's sexy to know that they're sitting there and saying, I'm with you, you're with me, we're with Andy Albright, we're with this team. And I think that's huge, that I know that I can count on Mike and Noel through anything. And I love that about them. They've got a smoking team that's going on right now. Their leaders are exploding. Things that they're doing in their business is absolutely growing, and they got some stuff. They got some lessons that they want to talk to some people about. So Mike and Noel, take it away.
Hey, thank you, Tony. We're just getting started. Hey,
we're just getting started.
Mike is consistently sexy. I just letting everybody know that. Okay. But anyway, I was talking to an agent or somebody that just started their class the other day. And she asked me a question. She was like, how fast should I get through this class? How fast? And she had lots of questions. When, how do you do this and that? She hadn't even cracked the book yet. And I said, there's one thing that you'll learn about me. I'm a do it now person. I'm a big time do it now person. So when should you start? Now. When should you get your license? Now. When should you call leads? Now. See what I'm saying? I'm a do it now person. I got my license. As soon as I found out I needed to get a license, I was like, okay, what do I need to do? I need to get a license? Okay. You need to get a license? Great. I'm like, okay, I need to do that now. I need to get through this class now. I need to do everything now. If there's one thing that you know about Andy Albright that you'll learn if you don't know, he's a do it now guy. Great salespeople, great leaders have urgency. There's a sense of urgency. Here's what I do know. This ain't no practice. This is not a practice life we got going on right here. This is the real damn thing happening, right? So if this is a real thing happening now, why not let's just do it now? Why consider procrastinating? And I'm not saying that I've been perfect, okay? I know I procrastinated a lot of things, but overall, I'm a do it now person, okay? And so that's one of the big things. This isn't a warm up. This isn't a practice. This is a real deal. So if this is a real deal, let's make it happen. Green Book, Tony, Green Book. Okay, this is my copy. Andy wrote in here. Okay, we waste hours. Hours turn into days lost. Days lost grow into weeks. Weeks spiral into months. Months become blink of an eye years. We know how fast years go by, and before you know it, you've accomplished nothing. The number one cause of failure in business is a lack of time. The number one failure in life is people think lack of time. We're so busy doing all the other things that don't matter and not focusing on the things that do matter. Okay. And that's what successful people do. They focus their attention on the things that matter, that's going to move them forward, move their business forward, move their family forward. And they don't worry about all the other stuff going on. That's why they're successful in business. That's why they're successful in life. The other thing is, he wrote in here, why not make it now that you start working on your life? Why not now? We don't get a, here's one thing I do know. You have a start date. You don't get to pick that date. Okay, you got an end date, and hopefully you're not picking that end date. Okay, so it's way years away, but you have a start date and you have an end date. In the middle, there's a dash. You get to pick what you do in your dash. That's the hours, the seconds, the minutes, and the days. You get to decide, and you get to decide how fast it's going to go, and what things you focus on in there is going to make or break the legacy that you leave behind. What do you want your legacy to be? I know what we want our legacy to be. I know what my legacy is. I want to know that what I'm doing here matters. I don't want to be worried about election or virus or whatever. I got to focus, baby. I can't deal with all that stuff. I got to focus. And it takes a lot of talking to yourself and speaking positive into yourself, because there's a lot of negative going in and out, right? But you got to speak out the positive and focus on the things that matter. So I'm going to let Mike talk now.
Okay. If I look at different times in our business, and the first thing I've got to remind people is, hey, if you're here with us today, you're just getting started. We just got started with our ability to partner with Integrity Marketing in June. So we all just got started in June. I think that is key for everybody to understand. We're all
you too. Right. You have no idea yet, but yes, you have the ability to partner with a multi-billion-dollar business.
That's right.
And it's based on what you do today. Now. Tell it.
So I think that's the first thing. And if I look back, if I look at two things, one that we did that we could have changed that I wish we did better at, and one things that we did well at. And I think the biggest thing I can tell you we made a mistake on was settling for small successes. We thought that $100,000 and $200,000 a year income was a big deal when we got started. Somebody had to wash the taste out of our mouth of that. It's like it was easy to think that was significant.
That was Andy. Andy was like, stop that.
So understanding, and it doesn't mean you don't celebrate, because if you've been used to making 40,000, you make 100 or 150, it's like, wow, you can get comfortable and settle. And if you're going to be a partner with Integrity, you got to be thinking more like $1 million, $2 million a year. It's where you need to be thinking, because it's just getting there bigger. And I think, and so the first thing can be, even in your personal production, you could settle for 20 or 30 appointments a week, or you could be pushing for 40 a week or 45. Okay. You could say, oh man, I want to be more efficient with my leads. So why not worry less about the efficiency at first and seeing how big a mess you can make and how fast you can get to higher volume and build efficiencies along the way.
Screw up a few things. It's okay. It's all right. Mess up. It's all right. You'll be all right.
So going big faster so you're not stuck settling is the biggest thing I would tell you. Second thing, along with your personal production, the same thing with recruiting and staff. Like, understand investing big in recruiting and big in staff as fast as you can is going to help you start to build that passive income that Terry was talking about. It's like, so not being scared, because your first staff person, you might get a good one.
Don't be scared. Nothing to be scared of. Don't worry. You'll be just fine. You're going to make it. I promise you. Hang with us.
Okay.
Sorry.
You will make it. And you might screw up. You might hire someone that's a dodo head. Okay. And you might need to fire them. You're like, I'm scared to fire somebody. So
it's okay. Don't worry. They'll be just fine. You'll be fine.
They might find a better employer than you. Oh, that might have hurt. Okay. All right. Bottom line is you'll get better. And so will that.
That's a good way to tell them. Say, hey, I think there's a better employer out there for you.
I'm just not good enough to be your employer. It's time that we go now. Okay. So,
All right.
all right, guys, the last thing I'll leave you with, in order to say yes to a bigger vision, you got to say no to a lot of smaller things that don't matter and learning how to say no. I had somebody say, but Mike, I've got to go down. I got to get my pitchforks and my torches because we got to go down to City Hall and we got to help make sure they're counting the votes. I said, Bo, you could be buying more votes if you was building your business bigger. You could be teaching dead people to vote if you had more money to print up some more dead people's ballots. But instead, you're having to worry about after the fact because you didn't build your business fast enough. Learn to say no to smaller battles.
Hey, no election fraud is going on at all. Don't worry, okay? Just
all right. I'm just like, Bo, let's control where you can have the biggest impact, which is in your business.
control what you get to control. Control what you can control. That's the biggest thing. And we don't have time at all. We don't have time to waste.
And if your pastor calls you up and says, we need you to be president of the Petunia Plucking Committee, you got to say, that sounds like an awesome role. And our church needs a new president for the Petunia Plucking Committee, but it's not me. I got a business to go to. I got a business to build. I got places to be. I got to build a legacy. That's
so you can stroke a check to that church and say, all right, here you go. Take care of it.
Get some petunias.
Here's one other thing, and I know it's running long, but hey, every morning you wake up. Thank God we woke up today. Thank God we woke up in America today. America. But you get to decide the role, the character, and the person that you're going to be. You get to pick what your attitude and your actions are and what you're focused on today. You get to decide. No one's going to decide for you, but do it now. Do it now. TikTok.
I love it. I love it. Mike and Noel, leaders on this team. Here's what I know about leaders. Here's what I know about these lessons. Leaders show up. Come rain, come shine, come good days, come bad days, when you're healthy, when you're sick, when you got people, when you got kids, when you got craziness, when you got stuff going on in your world, leaders show up and do what they're supposed to do. And if you're like, I'm not sure what that is, pick up this green book. I'm just telling you, pick up the Millionaire Maker Manual. It's going to tell you some things. It's going to give you some things. Pull up the 8 steps to success. It's a good place to start. I'm just letting you know these are things that will absolutely explode your business. And if I could look back at myself 15 years ago, I would sit here and say, hurry up. We've got a job to do. There is an opportunity sitting in your hands. And the faster you start running, the faster you start moving, the faster you start doing the things and stop fighting the things that they're telling you to do, the quicker you will see success in your life. So guys, I hope this call was helpful to you. I hope you got some nuggets. Thank you to my leaders that got on the call this morning for me. I love it that it just doesn't have to be about my team or their team or anyone's team. It's about everyone's team coming together to help you get rich. So with that being said, guys, let's go out there. Let's go have some fun. Let's go make some money because I hope you go get rich today. We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.